It was the first day of the month, the same morning her Social Security payment had arrived without fail for the past 14 years. And a woman sitting at her kitchen table in Ohio stared at her bank balance, waiting for a federal deposit that simply never appeared. No telephone call, no written notice, no warning of any kind, just a blank space where her government payment was supposed to be. She had not done a single thing wrong. She had not missed a deadline or violated any rule. She had simply overlooked one small adjustment to the way Social Security delivers your money in 2026. The kind of adjustment that never gets mentioned on the evening news, and by the time most people discover what happened, the harm has already been done. So stay right here with me for the next few minutes because Social Security has just changed 3 rules that directly affect how your money actually reaches you through direct deposit. And every single one of those changes can either keep your payment safe or quietly place it in danger. By the time we finish, you will know exactly what shifted, why so many seniors are being caught completely by surprise, and the specific steps that keep your payment secure, on time, and away from the wrong people. I am Walter Barron. I am a state bar licensed estate attorney, and for more than 15 years, I have sat across the table from families working to protect their homes, their savings, and the money the government already owes them. I read through the fine print on these rules so that you do not have to. And I am going to walk you through every one of these changes the same way I would walk my own parents through them. Stay with me whether you began collecting last year or 2 decades ago, whether your monthly payment is $1,200 or $3,000, because at least one of these 3 changes is going to affect you directly or touch someone close to you. And the one you are most certain does not apply to your situation is very often the one that ends up mattering the most. Before we begin, please do me one quick favor because it genuinely helps this information reach the seniors who need it most. Tap the like button and subscribe so the next update finds its way to you. So let me lay all 3 changes out for you right now, and then we will take each one separately and go deep. The first change involves the payment itself. The era of paper checks has officially come to an end, and if the account information Social Security has on file for you is even slightly outdated, your payment can simply stop arriving. The second change involves how an update to your deposit account gets approved. That process now takes a single day instead of an entire month, and that increased speed is simultaneously a benefit for you and an opportunity for someone attempting to defraud you. The third change involves how you gain access to your own Social Security account online. There is now an identity verification barrier standing between you and your login. And if you happen to be on the wrong side of that barrier on the day a problem occurs, you can find yourself locked out and unable to fix your own payment. Your deposit, your approval process, your account access, let us get into all of it. The first change is the one that sounds the most routine but carries the most immediate risk. For as long as most people can remember, the government printed a paper check, sealed it inside an envelope, and sent it through the mail. That era is finished. Under an executive order signed in 2025, the Treasury Department stopped issuing paper checks for federal payments at the end of September of last year, and the entire system is completing its move to fully electronic payments this year. The reasoning behind this is straightforward and is not seriously disputed. The government's own data reveals that a paper check is approximately 16 times more likely to be lost, stolen, or fraudulently rerouted than an electronic deposit. That single finding is the entire basis for this change. Now, here is the point where this actually creates a problem in real life, so let me make it concrete. Picture a woman I will call Pat, 71 years old, who received the same paper check at the same address for years before eventually switching over to direct deposit and never giving it another moment of thought. Then the bank she had been using was acquired by a larger institution. Her old account was quietly shut down during that transition, and the routing number sitting in Social Security's system now pointed toward an account that no longer existed. Pat had done absolutely nothing wrong. She had broken no rule whatsoever, but on payment day, her money had no valid destination, and it simply did not arrive. And there was no paper check on its way through the mail to serve as a backup because that safety net no longer exists. This is precisely the trap. It does not catch the people who made an error. It catches the people who did nothing at all, who simply assumed that the account they enrolled years ago was still active and correct. So the very first action every single person watching this needs to take is to confirm that the bank account Social Security currently has on file is the account you are actually using right now. If you have switched banks, closed an account, or been through a bank merger at any point over the past couple of years, I want you to proceed on the assumption that the information may be incorrect until you have personally logged in and verified with your own eyes that everything is current and accurate. The second change concerns how an update to your direct deposit account gets approved, and this is the one I need you to slow down for carefully because it works in two directions at once. It used to be that when you updated the bank account your payment was directed to, that change could take up to 30 days to fully take effect. That is no longer the case. Social Security now runs your updated account information through a Treasury verification service that checks with your bank almost immediately. A change can now be processed in as little as 1 business day. On the surface, that sounds like an entirely positive development. Your money moves faster. Errors get corrected faster. But I want you to think through this with me the way an attorney would for just one moment. If a legitimate change to your account can clear in a single day, then so can a fraudulent one. The old 30-day processing window was slow and frustrating, but it also served as a buffer, a full month during which an incorrect or criminal account change might be identified and reversed before any money was actually redirected. That window is now roughly 24 hours wide, so here is the protection that keeps you safe, and it has not changed. It has simply become far more critical to understand. Social Security communicates account verification through the mail. They do not call you. They do not send you a text message, and they do not send you an email requesting your routing number or your account number in order to, as they might phrase it, protect your payment. The telephone is where fraudulent activity lives. Their own investigators have broken the scam down into 4 straightforward steps, and once you hear them described, you will recognize the pattern immediately. First, the caller pretends to be an official representative of the agency. Second, they manufacture a problem. Your benefit has been suspended. Your account has been flagged. There is an urgent review underway. Third, they create pressure, typically through a tight time constraint, 24 or 48 hours. Act immediately or your payment will be lost. And fourth comes the request. Your account number, your Social Security number, a verification code. Every variation of this fraud follows that identical sequence. If you ever find yourself in a conversation that moves through those 4 steps, you are not speaking with anyone from the government, and you end the call immediately. You then contact Social Security using a number you already have in your possession. They do not initiate outbound calls to you asking for that type of information. And while we are on the subject of money, the system will not simply hand over to you automatically. So many of you have asked me to bring together the property tax relief programs, the Social Security considerations, and the banking protection strategies I discuss on this channel into one organized resource with the actual steps laid out clearly, so that you are not spending hours searching through confusing government websites trying to figure out what applies to your situation. So I put that together. It is called the Senior Money Playbook. It is written in straightforward language specifically for people over 65, and the link is waiting for you right below in the description. Now please stay with me because the third change is the one that almost no one is discussing, and it is the one that quietly creates problems for the people who are not prepared for it. The third change affects how you gain entry to your own Social Security account, and it is the change that tends to catch people completely off guard. For years, you logged in using a username and a password that you created a long time ago and rarely had reason to revisit. Those older login credentials are no longer valid. To access your account on the Social Security Administration website today and to make any changes to your direct deposit information online, you are now required to verify your identity through one of two approved platforms, either login.gov or ID.me. If you never completed that transition, your old username has simply stopped functioning, and here is where the real difficulty emerges. The day you genuinely need to access your account in a hurry, the day a payment has not arrived or something appears incorrect and every passing hour carries weight, is the absolute worst possible day to discover that you are locked out and must now complete an entirely new identity verification process from the beginning. So please do not wait for an emergency to force your hand. Set up your secure login today, right now, while everything is calm and nothing has gone wrong, so that the door is already standing open if you ever need to move through it quickly. And if navigating all of that online feels overwhelming, you do have the option of verifying your identity in person at a local Social Security office. But again, you want that taken care of well before you actually need it, not in the middle of an already stressful situation. So let me hand you the straightforward protocol, the exact same one I would give to my own parents, just 5 steps and you are protected. Step 1. Confirm that the bank account Social Security has on file is the account you are actually using today, especially if you have changed banks or been through a merger at any point recently. Step 2. Establish your secure login through either login.gov or ID.me right now before you ever have a reason to need it urgently. Step 3. Know your exact payment date and write it down somewhere you can find it easily, because the updated schedule can shift your deposit by a day or two depending on the calendar, and knowing the actual expected date prevents a routine timing variation from feeling like a genuine emergency. Step 4. If your deposit does not appear when expected, allow 3 full business days to pass before taking any action, because the majority of delays within this updated system resolve on their own, and reacting in a moment of panic is precisely the window a fraudster is positioned to exploit. And step 5, if you ever need to contact Social Security directly, use only the phone number printed on a document you already hold in your hands. Never use a number provided to you by an incoming caller, and never use a number pulled from a random internet search result that could be a fraudulently listed fake. And here is one final habit that quietly removes most of a scammer's leverage before they ever have the chance to use it. If you have a spouse, an adult child, or a trusted friend who helps you manage your finances and bills, let that person know which bank account your Social Security payment is deposited into, and make a simple agreement together that if either one of you ever receives a phone call claiming to be from Social Security, you speak to each other first before anyone takes any action whatsoever. That one uncomplicated agreement closes the door on the most prevalent version of this fraud before it can even get started. Because here is the truth underlying all 3 of these changes. The paper safety net has been removed. Your money now moves more rapidly than it ever has before, and the system quietly operates on the assumption that you are going to take responsibility for protecting yourself. The senior who checks their account on payment day and does not immediately see the deposit is not in a state of alarm, because they know exactly what changed, precisely how long to wait, and exactly what steps to take if something genuinely seems wrong. That is the entire difference between that morning becoming a full-blown crisis and it simply being another quiet, ordinary morning at the kitchen table. Confirm your account, establish your login, know your payment date. The system is not going to stand guard over your payment for you. That responsibility now rests with you. This content is general education and does not constitute legal or financial advice tailored to your specific circumstances. Please confirm your own details directly with Social Security before acting on anything discussed here. And if this was helpful to you, please do me a favor and pass it along to at least one person over 65 who counts on that monthly deposit, because there is a very strong likelihood that no one has shared a single word of this with them yet. I am Walter Barron,